The Mythos class models are a step above all other AI models, even ChatGPT 5.5. I am confident that Claude Mythos is the closest to AGI as of yet. I even believe that a frontier model may have been used for quite a while by the US Department of Defense before Mythos's public unveiling and subsequent withdrawal from regular users. Anthropic has a clear roadmap to rake in as much cash as it can in its eventual IPO, and they are relying on technological novelty and superiority to lock it in. So let's discuss how Mythos has paved the way for what I expect to be a highly successful IPO for Anthropic, and why this might even be worth it for longer term investors, despite the seemingly infinite AI companies popping up and the threat of a market crash looming over us. But first, what is Anthropic doing that makes it so unique? The simplest explanation is that they create AI models and deploy them within a subscription service for mainly business users and governments. These entities are falling head over heels for Anthropic Claude because of its smashing success in helping software developers code and in some cases replace them entirely. Unlike ChatGPT, Anthropic has almost exclusively marketed its AI tools towards improving productivity rather than an AI companion or search tool. This has two quite significant business advantages. They do not need as many GPUs in AI data centers to serve a large user base like what OpenAI does. This reduces their operating expenses. Secondly, they proportionally have more paying customers, and quite a lot of them are multinational companies with deep pockets. Because AI models run on a token system where users need to pay more for using more AI compute time and more powerful models, both of which theoretically increase productivity, Anthropic gets a steady increase in revenue as AI gets hyped up more and more, leading more entities to adopt mandatory AI usage requirements. So, in essence, Anthropic as a business has decent revenue and is not losing an eye watering amount of money running data centers like its main rival OpenAI is. Even without Mythos, it would most likely be well received in an IPO, though I must stress that it wouldn't be a good deal for retail investors given the number of competitors and the current trend of overvalued stocks. This would just be like gambling with the SpaceX IPO on the promise that XAI revenue will grow 100 times by 2030 by the same institution that facilitated the IPO. And this is why Anthropic's position is enviable now. I am not a machine learning specialist, but from what's public, it appears to me that Claude Mythos Fable 5 has a modified architecture to your typical ChatGPTs and Geminis, which rely on increasing the number of GPUs available at any given time for better inference. This is to draw on sometimes unrelated sources of data to derive a conclusion for a certain question. So, the more working memory these models have got, the more likely they will draw a stronger conclusion. Mythos also uses a lot of compute from its limited release and service bottlenecks, but it is also evident that when it works, it is highly specific and shows more complex reasoning, indicating that it may have been specifically trained for some commercial applications and runs other processes in the background, resulting in absolutely crushing its competition. This brings me to cybersecurity. Claude Fable 5 was made live for a short period, but even then researchers could not access it reliably, if at all. It quickly gained notoriety for being able to quickly point out vulnerabilities in code, and so the banning started. First, the US government blocked its usage to international users, then Anthropic throttled its service offering before pulling Fable 5 out of its roster of AI models outright. The reason given was that this model is too powerful for public use and they must comply with the US government directive. While paying customers aren't exactly pleased with this has only increased the hype around Mythos' capabilities and Anthropic's dominance. Despite all this, I don't believe that AGI is here yet. I stand by what I previously said. that Mythos is a highly tuned class of models that perhaps has a different architecture to other publicly available LLMs. And there are two reasons why I think this isn't anything groundbreaking. The first being there are quite a lot of new, quote unquote, world models being developed. Next, cybersecurity is an important and growing field, but it's not worth several trillions yet, like the AI tech companies are making it out to be. Yes, cybersecurity is incredibly important for governments, intelligence agencies, and corporations, but it's still quite a niche sector. It is not big enough to support multiple trillion-dollar valuations of companies yet. But perhaps most importantly, there's China. Their open source AI models like DeepSeek and Qwen have displayed performance not far off from ChatGPT 5.5 for a fraction of the compute token cost. Putting aside the execution issues like user privacy on Chinese AI services, which I don't think will be fixed because they want access to all the user data. The main hurdle for Chinese AI companies to overcome at the moment is getting their hands on the most advanced AI chips. They already have the land, energy, and water in abundance, but they don't have NVIDIA B200 GPUs. So the main thing to watch out for are their own AI chips, especially what Huawei is making. As such, it seems to us that the Chinese may not be lagging too far behind, if at all, in AI model architectures. It is having the best AI chips that's affecting their ability to compete with ChatGPT 5.5 and perhaps even Claude Fable 5. If there is a generational leap in the performance of Chinese AI companies, or if export controls by the US on the most advanced AI chips to China are relaxed, this may lead to the loss of the competitive moats that Anthropic currently enjoys. Hardware and resources go a long way in improving performance and the scale of services offered. Eventually, China's own frontier models, along with other American and international AI models, will compete with Mythos. This may even be the case before Anthropic's IPO. Heck, even XAI may release something that is better than Mythos. Just kidding. But why do I still think that betting on Anthropic may be worth it? To answer this, let's look at Huawei again. Its latest Ascend 950 series does not compete with Nvidia's Blackwell series at all. It also does not have anything remotely as powerful as Nvidia's CUDA programming solution or its networking architectures. But Huawei and its chips are such a big deal in China and increasingly on the world stage. This is because China is carrying it on its shoulders. China wants to compete with and surpass America in the AI race. Therefore, it is subsidizing Huawei with generous loans and tax breaks. What's more, Huawei is now also getting more from Make It Local initiatives for semiconductors and research hubs. What I mean to say is that we haven't seen much active subsidization of the AI sector in America yet. No company, despite the billionaire class cozying up with politicians, can directly access taxpayer dollars to fund infrastructure build-outs yet. But the moment this becomes an outspoken issue of national concern, and they are trying to frame it as such, then the US government may directly get involved in building AI infrastructure. If Mythos is indeed a step above all other AI models, it will be the biggest beneficiary of all the essentially free compute resources. The backing of the government would be rocket fuel for Anthropic. It is only a matter of time, but who knows what new competitor will come up during this time.